Your next athlete, Danielle Brandon, wild ride, very interesting history, insane. Gets the scholarship, I think, to Sac State in track. Um, a hard worker. From when she was on the show, she basically used sports as a like I think a lot of people who have hardship in their life is sort of an escape mechanism. Like, hey, if rather than be in the house, I could be out training and doing good things and being around good people and getting pats on the back instead of being at home and being not treated the way they want to be treated. Then ends up doing the pole vaulting and sets a collegiate record, even though she's not a fucking pole vaulter. Which clearly shows her dedication and hard work and ability to develop athleticism. Qualifies for, I want to say she qualified for regionals at least twice, but didn't go because she had to fulfill her obligations to keep her scholarship going at
Yeah, I think
SAC.
she had like collegiate nationals for track. Yeah, at the same time as regionals.
So the people who are like diehard CrossFitters know that there's this freak out there, but we still haven't seen them show up on the scene. Shows up on the scene, um, really uh, gets on the demo team, gains a lot of attention there.
Mhm.
Then the COVID year does that remarkable, quasi solo performance. First time the word quasi has been used on the show in 5 years.
I
Um,
don't even know what it means.
I don't know what it means either. I was surprised to hear it come out of my mouth. Quasi solo performance, um, and then it's been just this kind of this trip because she was with one camp, switched, right before the games. Then I think then there was the COVID debacle, and then I want to say she switched again, and then now a third time right before the games she switches again. We heard her come to you, and I'm going to tell you, to be completely frank, you would have been I think of you as probably one of the best kept secrets in CrossFit. 10 years of experience, all sorts of other crazy athletic achievements, full blown nerd. Everyone likes you. I kind of think of you as like the church of the West Coast, as just a really um, peaceful, grounded kind of epicenter corner of CrossFit, even as an affiliate owner. How long have you had your affiliate?
16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think of you as kind of like this bedrock of CrossFit in all areas, whether it be in community, mindset, generosity, and then you've nurtured these young athletes like Justin and Trista and brought them up in this way. And now 2 weeks before someone says, "Oh, she's going to Neiffer," and I'm like, "There's no fucking like." I just didn't see it. And I was like, "What is he gonna? Is he gonna help her find Jesus?" Like I just did. I don't see you as um. I never saw that coming together. Can you tell me what happened? Like, who calls you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that?
No, like
I
you feel
I
like
see
the
her as like just
personalities
this.
don't mesh.
She's like the Incredible Hulk, like with that group of guys. You know what I mean? And you're like, yo, like we know you got crazy skills, but you're the Hulk, and like that shit has to be managed.
Yeah.
Like you just can't turn green fucking at a funeral.
Yeah, dude. Can you still hear me okay?
I hear you great. Your audio is amazing. I love her.
Okay,
I love
cool.
her. I love her
Cool.
too. We're
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
By the
yeah.
way, we're so lucky as a sport to have her.
She's awesome.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have her.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you would have told me before this started of like, hey, you're gonna be working with Danielle, I would have been like, I doubt it. Like
Yeah.
I was probably as surprised as anybody. And I think the way yeah, for people that are curious, how that kind of came to be.
Let me just say
Um,
one more thing too. I would put you on the Mount Rushmore of CrossFit, just people.
that's
Like,
awesome, man. Thank you.
yeah, like if I had to pick 5 people or however many dudes are up there, like you'd be one. Like you've done it all. So,
Dude,
yeah, you've done it all.
that's kind of you to say, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, you're a
I
bedrock. Yeah, you're one of the greatest to ever do it, and you're also just a great human being. So yeah. So sorry, go on. So you're just hanging out at home. Oh, so if someone told you you'd be coaching Danielle, you'd be like, I don't see it.
Yeah, yeah, I would not have expected that for sure. But um, that being said, so trying to think kind of when. So some stuff happened with Danielle where she was seeking a change in scenery and coaching, right? And I don't even know all the details about that. I think it was pretty like I think it was pretty public and out there.
Yeah.
But whatever steps led to her needing a new coach about a month out from the games.
And
Um,
and let's be clear too. Her coach just fucking won the games.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
He's a
not it's
stud.
not like Coach L's this shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, Coach L is awesome. And actually, prior to that, I don't know exactly when, but Coach L does some conjugate strength training and actually was uh like seeked out Jesse, just kind of Jesse Bufano as a resource for strength building. And this was before Danielle came into the picture. Um and and then I don't know when it was, but we work with the same management, right? So Cooper and Danielle manage Danielle and Justin. And at some point,
And Trista, right?
yep, Interesta. And it's been known by uh, Danielle and everybody in the space for a while that like, hey, her biggest weakness in the sport is strength, specifically squatting. Any event that comes up that has a heavy squatting component, she tends to struggle with. And so, um,
Is that
you
from
know,
injury? I always assumed it was injury and she was just really tentative, like there was a mental block.
she has had a prior injury, but even before that, she wasn't the
That wasn't her
um,
thing.
yeah, her squatting strength was not, and we see that sometimes. We see some athletes that are, you know, really like Danielle is crazy athletic. I mean, just
Mhm.
like anybody that can do pole vault, a couple pole like
Yeah.
Annie was a pole vaulter too, right?
Yep, yep.
Um, yeah, crazy athletic, gymnastics background, but just hasn't developed the squatting strength specifically. And for some CrossFitters, like a Colton Mertens, that comes pretty naturally. And for others, they have to put a lot of work into just being proficient. And that's been Danielle's path. And so um, Cooper and Elle and myself and Jesse had talked about Danielle coming up to Squamish and doing some strength training with Jesse, just as like a learning experience. Um, and that was well before she ever was seeking out a coaching change. And then I actually had a chance to interact with her quite a bit at SoCal last year, and it was actually kind of funny because we definitely butt heads a little bit. And when uh, when she
You
was
mean
looking
even at
for,
that event, you were coaching Justin, and just
I
in
was
your
coaching
interaction with her,
Justin.
you felt some tension?
Well, no, I was coaching Justin, but the team had asked if I would just help him out. Just having had some team experience in the past. There's no
Mhm.
official coach for that for the team, but
Right.
it's like, hey, can you
Some
help out
team
with this?
experience, you mean 10 years at the games?
Yeah, 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 that stuff. So yeah, basically, so there was a little bit of history there, and then when she found herself in a spot where she was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a new coach," Cooper and Jesse and myself and her just got on a call, and we're just like, "Hey, you know, what are you looking for?" And the interesting thing about that is, um, Jesse is like, I look at Jesse. Jesse's her lead coach, and Jesse has an amazing skill set to take an athlete and help them get stronger. And it turns out that Jesse's biggest strength as a coach happens to be Danielle's biggest need, you know? And so that fit is actually like very natural. And so after we got on a call, we're like, okay, well, we got like 3 weeks. If you're needing somebody just to be there at the games, we're not changing up your programming very much. There's not a lot of that we're going to move the needle on in fitness, but we're willing to help and just kind of give it a test run and see how it goes. And so that's what we did. And we had some great conversations. We addressed some of the her and I butting heads at SoCal last year, and actually like it really had a really good understanding of like, hey, what happened. And it was on the worm event, and the North American team dropped the worm, and I said something to her after, and she was like, hey, if one more person tells me it was my effing fault, you know I don't know, she just kind of like she got angry about that. And I realized like, hey, I just kind of like I needed to give her a little bit more time and space because she's a super passionate athlete.
Mhm.
And I just needed to give her a little bit of time and space to breathe. And kind of cope with that experience out there, and then we can have a conversation about it. And just understanding that and learning a little bit more about her was like, okay, yeah, let's see what happens at the games. And to be honest, the games went very well. Like, she was obviously fit, and that was really the work that L and the Brute team had put into her. And then we were just there to, get her across the finish line and be in a support role at the games. And specifically, Jesse, he and I love to work together in the back with multiple athletes. And so, the only person we had going to the games was Justin. And so to have another athlete there that we could, serve and hopefully help in that competition atmosphere was something that we were both really motivated to do.
It doesn't seem that conflict is foreign to Danielle. So
Mhm.
also maybe there's this component that what for other people is level 10 for her is only level 5. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some people who just like fuck you is like fuck you, but it's not like hey, it's not like that big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some people who just have a higher threshold for intense exchanges.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also like I don't know, there's like just a mutual level of respect there. Like there's no bad blood, and I don't feel like I don't have any like bad blood against anybody. Um, if I've had any sort of conflict, I mean, I don't hold grudges or hold that against people or anything like that. I just like see people for who they are and generally wants what's best. And yeah, for her, um, I looked at like Jesse's ability to help people get stronger and her biggest need. I think that's like a pretty awesome fit.
Yep.
And we didn't go into the games really with an agenda to see like, hey, are we going to keep doing this? But the games went really well. Actually, one of the coolest things that happened after the games that Danielle said was like, hey, that's the best I've ever done. She got fourth, which she's gotten fourth one other time. I think
She
it was
got
20.
fourth with only doing 9 events basically, which is
Yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah, that
crazy that she finished fourth and only did 9 events. I'm giving her like the squat was just like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, she obviously still did it. She just got what she she
but
got
you
what
know
she
what I
got on
mean?
that
Like
workout.
she
Yeah,
took it
she got
like
no points.
yeah,
Yeah.
she got no point. I mean, it's fucking nuts. It's
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. You just see like what an incredible athlete she is. But she's like, hey, I did the best I've ever done, and I had the most fun I've ever had at the games. And those two things combined, you're like, dude, that's so awesome to hear. Because there was, you know, we've seen the Danielle that gets frustrated out on the floor and yells at her judge, or we've seen the Danielle that like, something doesn't go her way and things start to unravel, and she ends up underperforming because of that. And that never happened at the games. I mean, like she had a really tough event in the pegboard. She was expecting to do well at the pegboard event. She dropped from like almost the top on her third rep on the pegboard. Like she did two pegboards and then she failed her third one. And I really she didn't give up. Like she didn't give up. She kept working. I felt like if there was a moment where things were going to unravel and the wheels were going to come off, that was going to be it.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was able to like take a couple deep breaths, focus on like what she could control and continue to do her best. And she didn't win that event, but for the situation she was in, she got as many points as she could at the time. And I was like, man, that was awesome. That was really cool to see. And that was a moment for me that I was just really impressed.
Um Adam's a real one through and through. Grateful to know him, Sabrina.
Thanks.
Looks like she's in the picture with a bear.
Stud.
You ever had a bear come into your gym?
No. Uh-uh.
But you have bears in your hood, right?
Not really. Not really.
Never.
We're pretty tame. Maybe get outside a little bit, but no.
There's never one that rolls into the city. Like
Uh-uh.
no. Oh.
Nah, man, we're a city. But yeah, so then for Danielle though, she's dude, she finished the games. Then, we went to World Fitness Project. She didn't do very well at World Fitness Project. Uh, event or tour stop two. The one down in Mesa.
Mhm.
But
But that was probably pretty comforting for her. A lot of people didn't do well. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I
And
don't know.
misery kind of loves company. You know what I mean? Like when you
Maybe,
see Jason
maybe.
win the games and then go there and do what he did, also, it's kind of like,
Yeah. I mean, there's part of that, but there's also a lot of people that did well. Obviously, there's people that performed higher than her. But I actually appreciated a couple things about it. Like she, after the running event, she was like middle of the pack, and
Yeah.
you know, it didn't go super well, and she was kind of frustrated coming off the floor. And then like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, she's like, "Well, I got what I deserved."
Oh,
like, she was after coming off the game. She wasn't like, not that she didn't train hard. She definitely did train hard, but it wasn't like, um, she wasn't putting the same. Just didn't mean as much to her. That World Fitness Project stopped too. Like it didn't mean as much to her as going out and doing well at the games did. And
I
so when
think
she said,
Jason described it pretty well, right? He was like, you take it seriously, you want to win, but when you're at the games, it's like your whole life comes to that moment because it's everything you've been training for.
yeah, yeah, 100%. But even more than that, like in the few weeks between there, like, you know, the level of emphasis that training has maybe just wasn't as high. It's like maybe you're not doing all the little things that you need to do to be as successful as possible, just because it's like, um it's not as high of a priority in your life at that time. And so yeah, after the running event, she's like, "I got what I deserved." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" She's like, "Yeah, I just didn't work. I just didn't put in the work doing the little things in these last few weeks to expect a better outcome, you know?"
Um, that's the second time I've heard a story about her. I'm trying to remember. I think there was another year at the games. I remember her blaming herself, saying she just didn't train hard enough,
Yeah,
which is always a good sign, right? When an athlete's taking
yeah, man.
accountability
Some
instead
accountability. Yeah.
instead of blaming instead of blaming.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And so I appreciated that. And there was just like an honesty. And then, just kind of like seeing where her mindset is going to the next event. It's like, like big picture, like maybe this isn't the place on this planet that I want to be most of all, more than anything else right now, is competing in this event right now, if that makes sense. You know what I
What do
mean?
you yeah, what do you think is the most important um element in a coach and athlete's relationship? And I can narrow that down for you if you want, but I'd like to leave
No,
it broad and see what you come up with.
yeah. So, we talked about this, you know, the very first call with Danielle. We talked about, hey, what do you see as that? And in my opinion, it's trust,
Mhm.
um, both directions. And we talked about, hey, we don't have the luxury of time to build or develop that trust.
Mhm.
Um, so we just have to like be very upfront, very transparent, very honest with one another, and make the most of the situation we're in. And I feel like we're accomplishing that. It's tough. It's different than any other athlete I've ever worked with, because every other I don't really love remote coaching. Every other athlete, we've been able to spend a lot of in-person time, and I think that's the best thing possible. But she just found herself in a unique situation, and um, that trust is something that is takes time to develop, and we're working on that.
I'm going to give you my 50 and this probably be a little uncomfortable. I'm going to give you my 50-cent psychoanalysis on Danielle. That
Cool.
since she's been young, there've been trust issues in her life, so she's pretty guarded. And in that at some point as we develop as human beings, not only instead of overcoming that, you're kind of looking to relive that same thing over and over again, right? So like someone like me, I have a super high threshold for someone breaking my trust because I don't hold people to. I kind of let people be who they be and decide where they want our relationship to be. Do you know what I mean? So if you're
Yeah.
someone who's always
Yep.
lying, I could still be your best friend, but I just know like, hey, I bet I need to fact check everything you say. You tell me you're gonna meet me somewhere at 3, like I call you at 2:50. Are you
Yep.
still gonna be there? Do you know what I mean? Like I just start knowing who you are. But I
Is
think
that why
some
is that why you texted me like 15 minutes before this morning?
no, it's because we're a professional podcast. We're pretending, we're masquerading. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, there is I think from what I've just seen from the outside that there's this cycle of building close relationships with people totally from the outside. I don't know her at all. And then um uh it's almost like she's going to set people up to fail because she wants to keep reliving that experience instead of just be at some point being like, "Hey, no one's perfect, man." Like, you know what I mean? Like people are going to let me down. It's okay. I'm going to let people down. And so when I see her come to someone like you, I'm like, at some point are we going to see the cycle over again where there becomes and she'll keep upping the ante until there's a breakup because she's looking to relive this thing that happened to her when she was a child. Do you get what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I think she's a really great person and everything, but at some point she wants to live this experience that she had when she's little, and she'll push someone to that point to where there's that cataclysmic thing again where someone can't live up to what she wants from them, and she'll keep pushing that so that she can live that breakup and kind of live that pain again instead of just being like, yo, not everyone, like letting it go. And so when I saw her go to you, I'm like, oh shit, how the fuck is she going to do that with Adam Neiffer?
We'll see, man. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely far from a psychologist. Um, but yeah, so far, like, when we first started working together, there was a lot of like, there's a lot of warnings. A lot of people that are just like, oh man, this is gonna happen, or what about this, or she is that, or whatever, right? And Justin and
By
I
the
have a
way,
lot of
I don't think it's any reason not to do it. By the way, I don't think
yeah,
if you like that in itself is should be a challenge. Everyone should want the biggest challenge of their life, and I think you have an amazing challenge ahead of you with endless potential.
and that's exactly how I see it too. It's like, and if there's a guaranteed outcome, like shoot, it wouldn't be fun anyway, right? Like,
Right.
but also we see like, hey man, this individual has an amazing potential, and if we can be a part of like helping her and developing her, and I want to see her, she's been a great athlete for a long time. I want to see her have the best couple years of her career, and I think that we obviously see the potential for her to do that, and that challenge of like helping her get across the finish line and be a CrossFit Games podium athlete, like that's super exciting to me. And it doesn't like, her past, however you describe like some of the conflict that you have or trust issues or whatever it's called. It's like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like I just see where she's at right now. It's kind of like, when you ever talk to like a new CrossFit coach that has a little bit of like imposter syndrome
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know
I'm a podcaster with imposter syndrome.
yeah, and they always describe it the same way. They're like, man, I don't think I know enough to be able to coach, and you're like, hey, you've been to the level one, you know a lot, right? And you've been doing this stuff for years. And you don't have to know everything. You have to know enough to meet this person where they're at and
Mm-hmm.
be able to provide some sort of positive value in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel with Danielle. It's like, all right, like I don't know what the future holds or what I don't really care about what the past looks like.
Mm-hmm.
This coach to athlete relationship that we're embarking on is just like, hey, let's take it one step at a time, do the very best job that we can, and produce the best result that we can. And at the end of the day, that's my job. And yeah, I'm excited for her. I'm excited for her. Working with her. It's obviously it's been different than lots of other athletes, but it's been great. Every time that we've been at a competition in person together, which is only twice so far,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have really, really enjoyed that process. I've learned a lot from her. She's been great. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Anything jump out at you when you say you've learned something from her? Anything jump out at you?
She operates because so all the athletes that I've coached have really come up through, I guess for lack of a better word, like come up through our system. So
Mm-hmm.
we do things a similar way.
Mm-hmm.
For Danielle, that's it's different. Some of the things that have worked well for other athletes, just in terms of like the preparation, the warm up area, that type of thing. Some of the things that have worked out well for other athletes are different for Danielle. And for her, a lot of times less is more, and like not overthinking things, but just giving her like really big, broad, general concepts, and just allowing her to just go out there and be herself. Whereas other athletes want to be maybe more detailed in their approach and more thoughtful. For
Mm-hmm.
her, being a little bit freer out there, but understanding like you know big picture, how are we going to accomplish the task is yeah, it's just a little bit different than all of the other athletes I've worked with. Not bad,
Right.
just different. So just learning her, I would say what I've learned most is just learning what for her helps her click and helps her be motivated as an individual to get out on the competition floor and just be who she is, which is just a savage and a killer.
She is that. How about the other athletes? Justin, Ellie, Trista, Mr. McAdams, any did they have any pushback? Did they have any concern? Like, hey, my coach's time is going to be taken away, or there might be some chaos brought to the camp.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not a camp in the sense that we're all in the same place. So, you know, that part's not a concern. Yeah, but 100%, like those are conversations that like these guys are such an integral part of our team that before we took on saying yes to coaching with Danielle, like, hey, I want to hear your input, Justin. And there's obviously a little bit of maybe trepidation and like you said, hey, what is this going to do? How is this going to affect the team dynamic and how is it going to affect Justin specifically? Yeah, and we talked through that stuff. But at the end of the day, it was like, hey, um, specifically at the games, Danielle being part of the team is actually it can only help Justin. The way I see it is like, and vice versa. If we're working together and Justin learns something, on the floor that can help her, or the girls go first and
Mm,
she learns something,
mm,
like
mm.
that immediate feedback right after a competition event can not always, it depends on the event, but it can sometimes be very valuable. And you saw that from Matt and Tia, that last
Mhm.
year that they were together. And you see that from some of the other camps that have multiple athletes being able to share knowledge.
Especially events like the pegboard, right? When it's like everyone's trying to figure out, okay, why are we slipping? Do you need to wipe your shoes? Do you need to like what do you
Yeah,
need to do?
exactly. Stuff like that. Yeah, it can be valuable. So yeah, it was a conversation. Maybe it was a concern, but it was definitely something that is like, yeah, easy to move past.
Um, when Justin moved to Idaho, my feeling that I got from you, I don't think you said it as explicitly, is that you didn't like it. And now when I hear you